Well, hello and welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and welcome to episode what? This is 105 of the Jesus Enrique Rosas show. We are live on YouTube, on X, and on Rumble. I was just checking Rumble to make sure that it was working. So make sure to like and subscribe because that is the easiest way to support my channel, my videos, and we have a packed show today with a lot to cover. I don't know how long are we gonna take to cover all this. We got Trump getting Greenland for free. I mean, literally for free. This is something that, well, it's not unprecedented because you know that the dude is the out of the deal. We got Gavin Newsom and KNEEPADS. How does this work? I don't know. We got a body language analysis today at last. After I don't know. This is the first. This is not the first of the first one of the year, right? We've had other body language analysis, but we've got a body language analysis today. They're calling this lady Juicy Somali yet. So let's see what happens. Candace Owens has been officially served with a cease and desist, let's say, love letter from Turning Point. Let's see how that goes. It's going to be interesting. Harry was crying in court. I was crying. I think that Harry saw that Brooklyn Beckham was making a pathetic fool of himself. He decided that, I need to up my game. I'm going to cry in court. I don't care if the camera is not going to be in the courtroom. I'm gonna go and do it anyway. I'm gonna talk about the unsealed documents of the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively thing that it's Taylor Swift is into all this mess. I'm gonna address this and a couple of things. Maybe we have time at the end of the show. I want to talk about that trailer of the Masters of the Universe upcoming movie on June 5. I want to talk about that. And one device that Apple is designing right now to basically track every single aspect of our lives. But before we begin, you, my lovely audience, remember that I am keeping an eye on your comments. I'm keeping an eye, keeping an eye on your comments. So great. And all your super chats and super stickers, if you send them and I miss them, I'm going to address them maybe in between every single of these topics. Every single one of these topics, every single topic, all of them are going into all my channels. I don't have let's say a list of all my channels right now, but remember that there's the Royal Rogue. You already know the Royal Rogue with all that Harry, Meghan, royals and non-royals live alike. There's the Power Pundit as well, which is my mix-up of American and international politics. Which one? There's also the Scene Surgeon, which is where I will drop all my entertainment commentary. The Oscars nominations are out, by the way. Sinners has broken the record with 16 Oscar nominations. I mean, Sinners is a nice movie, right? It's a recommended movie. You can actually watch it. It's a movie, we could say. But 16 Oscars. I don't know. Maybe they did not have any more options for the agenda. That's what we have today. So I think that we are ready to begin. And let's see what happens. Oh, before we begin, I have just something to tell you. You know that I basically do all my research on X, and that can be a bit stressing at times. Not anymore, because I have come to realize that many people are not mad at me or at you if you're on X. They simply have no reading comprehension, or they had a bad day, or they come in bad faith. No matter what, I like to give everyone, I don't know, some kind of reaction in one way or another. And I came up, that I have my gifts, my personalized gift. Maybe I will walk you through or some of them sometime. But I thought about this, I don't know what is this meme called. I think this, I don't remember. I know that I went for it, I looked for it for one of my videos, and I said, okay, I need this meme for myself. When a troll arrives, when a troll just says something mean in my replies, this is how I'm going to reply. This is one of the ways that I'm going to reply. And you can screenshot if you want to use it for yourself. And I I love this reply from Walt, aka Big Dub. My preferred response, this is the kind of thing that you don't like. You don't like to see at night. Ask Maduro about this. Somebody said that I should call myself the body language G. The body language G. That sounds great. That's like it could be a rebranding that we have been talking about branding these days with the Beckham brand. Maybe we can talk about that as well. Maybe I can say something about your brand, the speaking. I want to talk about public speaking as well, because so many people have brilliant ideas, but they need to do a bit more to be able to project them effectively in public. Maybe I will talk about that at the end of the show. But meanwhile, let's talk about Trump and Greenland. That has been everything that has been talking about for the past, for some time. No, I wouldn't say that for the past couple of weeks, because it's been longer. But it turns out, it seems that the dude, that POTUS, that the Don, that the orange man has gotten what he wanted for free. But he's not going to pay anything, or the United States is not going to pay anything for that. It seems, or those are the reports, it's official. President Trump's Greenland deal is going to be free to the USA. We're going to get everything we want for zero, other than the cost, of course, of the Golden Dome, which would be the equivalent of Israel's Iron Dome, which is this system of missiles in which if there's a hostile missile incoming, then they shoot a tiny missile that intercepts it mid-air, which is quite brilliant, by the way. But the Golden Dome, that has to be golden and with a big T of testosterone, or Trump, maybe. I'm not going to have to pay anything. We're going to have total access to Greenland. All right, that sounds like a deal.
Well, I'm not going to have to pay anything. We're going to have total access to Greenland. We're going to have all military access that we want. We're going to be able to put what we need on Greenland because we want it. We're talking about national security and international security. So we're going to not have to pay anything other than the fact that we are building the Golden Dome, and the Golden Dome is going to be something that's going to be very amazing. It'll be Israel times probably 100. And we need it. I think we need it. And it's all going to be made in the United States. We have the best weapons in the world. We have the best companies in the world. We want them to produce faster. And, we've put a mandate out. You're going to have to produce faster, whether it's the Patriots or the Tomahawks or the F-35s or anything else. We make the best equipment, but they have to make it a lot faster.
Yeah, it's basically a good summary of what is going on. So the new deal is, one, Denmark has to keep paying the population of Greenland $600 million per year. So yeah, Greenland is not going to be part of the United States. All right, United States gets sovereignty over whichever parts we want for U.S. military bases. Okay, you get to pick and choose. That's okay. We want to build a military base here, and that's it. Okay, that's what basically what the plan was about. USA gets mineral rights. I guess that is the same system like in Venezuela. They help get the minerals out. Everybody gets to benefit from that. China and Russia are not allowed in Greenland, which is also a matter of security. Now, the thing is that people are saying that, the Golden Dome, who is going to launch those missiles that could hit the United States? It has to be Russia, right? It would be maybe some kind of threat in the future, because I really don't see Putin doing anything about the war right now because, well, he, again, I have told you many times that he's quite busy right now. So maybe it's not Putin, but maybe they are thinking for the future. Maybe you never know what kind of crazy Russian, even crazier than Putin, that maybe you will miss Putin in the future. You never know, so it's better to not leave any, let's say, open spaces and just secure that with the Iron Dome. And it costs $0, besides, of course, building and allocating the resources for that military base out of the Greenland deal. Get your opponent to cede the territory and mineral rights for free while they still pay the native civilians a year in welfare payments and think you are the idiot for accepting. This is something I was about to make a video about Trump a few months ago, especially when he was talking about, you remember those 600,000, I think that it was 600,000 Chinese students that he said that they needed in the United States. It was not 600,000, there were 300,000 a year. It was for 2 years. It was I think that Howard Lutnick set that record straight. But it is something that Trump does all the time. He stirs the pot. He says these outrageous claims. He walks them back. He forward. He moves. Everybody goes insane, and it's like creating this fog, which at the end of the day, what he gets is what was intended at the beginning. And it's, in fact, a negotiation tactic in which you ask for something which is insanely outrageous, and when you finally get what you get, and what you were set out to get, then, oh yeah, that Trump just had to settle for this. No, this was the plan all along, but compared to annexing or buying the whole of Greenland, that, by the way, even Putin was doing the numbers. There's a clip of Putin out there doing the numbers of how much would be Greenland worth right now. I think, but I don't know. It was an insane amount. I don't know. It was 400 billion. I don't remember. Putin did the math. All right. So if the United States wants to buy Greenland, here's the number. So even he was okay with it. So that's what Trump gets. That's what Trump got, and so we can just, I guess that we can move forward from the Greenland deal. But at the same time, you see that it was the reaction of the EU, of the European Union, and how, I love Europe. I have to tell you, that Europe is so beautiful in every single way, in nature, in architecture, in art, in, oh my God, in cuisine, and the food, everything. Europe, I would say that, I would argue that all of Europe is so beautiful, but Europe has been strangled by so many, this bureaucracy and paperwork, as we are going to mention, and it seems that the German Chancellor has agreed that this was a bad idea from the start. Like all this regulation is the word. All these regulations had just made any sort of improvement, any sort of innovation impossible. Not to mention the energy part, that they have been this crazy self-immolation of in energy. And well, it seems to be getting it. I have been surprised.
We are aware of those problems. Both Germany and Europe have wasted incredible potential for growth in recent years by dragging feet on reforms and unnecessarily and excessively curtailing entrepreneurial freedoms and personal responsibility. We are going to change that now. Security and predictability take precedence over excessive regulation and misplaced perfection.
This is the kind of things that I applaud this. This is great news. This should be great news for Europe. But they have been pushing for all these regulations for decades. So it's my question, what changed? Did they just did a 180 all of a sudden. I mean, people and countries don't work like that. You don't suddenly realize, you know what? All the regulations we've had for the past, 20 years, they did not work. Oh, yeah. No, you don't say, yeah, that is what has been happening. And I remember when I arrived in Europe, I was testing these different countries, how easy it would be to be an entrepreneur. And they, in theory, many countries had these programs for startups and entrepreneurs, and everything was so great until the moment that you began dealing with the actual red tape. So in theory, in the paperwork, they had nice programs and nice incentives, and I was, okay, this is great. Europe should be doing great, I guess, but where are all the entrepreneurs? Where are all the startups? There's a reason why there are not that many startups like in other parts of the world, and it's because of all the red tape. We want Europe to be great once more, as it once was. And one of the things that Europe has to get rid of, besides the paperwork and the red tape, is the guilt. All that guilt, especially Germany, France, especially Germany. I think that, that Germany has always been like kind of the unsung leader of the European Union in many ways, and they just follow the lead of Germany. And if Germany still has this guilt, this unresolved guilt, that I don't know what kind of therapy. How can you subject a country to therapy? I don't know. But the thing is that it's urgent. There's something that if they want to change, with that huge parliament, they have to change it right now. So maybe the effects you could be seen in 5 years from now, if they are quick enough.
We must reduce bureaucracy substantially in Europe. The single market was once created to form the most competitive economic area in the world, but instead we have become the world champion of over-regulation.
We have become the world champion of over-regulation. It's incredible to see Max saying this. I'm not gonna say I think that is great. And I said that some of you have strong opinions about Trump in the comments, and I thank you for being so polite about this. You are polite and saying that maybe you disagree with Trump, but at the same time, this is the Trump effect. I'm going to show you the Trump effect in real time. The Finland president, look at this. This is basically 11 minutes apart.
First is a direct answer to the question of this panel: can Europe defend itself? My answer is unequivocally yes.
Without the Americans?
Without the Americans, I mean...
How?
Well, look...
But you're relying on them for these key elements.
This is one thing. He just said that, yes, the European Union European countries can defend themselves, and has to be very clear. You mean without the United States, you mean? And to be fair, he did not say, yes, without the United States. He did not say that, but he said this 11 minutes later.
You've said earlier that Europe can defend itself without the Americans. If it comes down...
not exact. That's not a quote.
More or less, more or less. We'll go back to the transcript. More or less.
Yeah, to be fair, to defend this guy, he did not say that. People are trying to, have this gotcha moment, but that is what causes this effect. The confusion can be a very efficient negotiation tactic in many scenarios, in absolutely many scenarios. And yes, if maybe, as some of you are saying, oh, Trump is insane. I don't know. I don't know about you, but maybe that insanity is what is going to do a course correction over everything that was happening during the Biden administration. But maybe you didn't like Biden either. Maybe you are one of those people who didn't like Biden. Maybe you don't like Trump as well. But I think that everything should boil down to their results. Again, you don't like to you don't need to like somebody or your doctor or your surgeon as long as he's capable to perform the surgery. Are you capable? Can you do the surgery and do it well? Yes. Well, I really don't care. I'm not here to be your friend. Maybe that's the approach that we can take. But let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Much love and bliss. And I say my goodbye, not because I'm saying goodbye, because you already know that I'm recording every single one of these sections for my all my channels. So you can look for every single one of these sections. This is gonna be on my Power Pundit channel, by the way. This is going on my Power Pundit channel. And right now, while I take a look at your comments, I am going to do something I sometimes do. Yeah, I think that everybody can have an opinion about Trump. I've come to respect, as long as you're respectful. If you're respectful, what is the problem? There should be no problem about that. Some people can have ad hominem attacks and say that, oh, he is this and that. You should attack the ideas. You should attack the policies. I mean, you could say, I don't like Biden. Okay, well, what does that do? You should be attacking the policies of the guy, not the person himself, because attacking the person is basically, is how to say this? It's like you are not doing basically anything with that. You're not achieving anything by attacking the person, okay? And you are looking like you're just attacking the person. You have to attack ideas, actions, everything, and that would be way more efficient in so many ways. And we are ready to go into, oh my God, it's like I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be fair when I talk about the next topic. And the next topic is a bit bizarre because it's Gavin Newsom showing some KNEEPADS with Trump's signature at the World Economic Forum. And I absolutely had to, I'm going to scrub this. I had to, with so much AI nowadays, so much AI slop, I had to make sure that this was a real thing, and this is a real thing. He actually was, in fact, he was selling this back in October on his website. You know that Gavin Newsom literally wants to be the candidate of the Democrats for 2028. And what he's trying to do is to basically mimic, we could say that Trump's quirkiness, we can say, insanity. I don't know. This CW, you're there in the live chat. I see you. I didn't see this picture anywhere, so thank you for sharing this on X. A picture is worth 1,000 words. You know that for some strange reason, oh my God, who is spot? I spot Susie Wiles in here, by the way. It's Marco Rubio, Stephen Miller, but yeah, Gavin Newsom was a bit, let's say, upset because for some reason his speech was canceled at the last minute. He just got the interview, and the interview is when he went for this Trump signature series KNEEPADS for the CEOs who are not willing to make a stand against Trump. So maybe if you are not understanding, you know that I try to keep my channel family friendly, but maybe you're not getting the joke. Maybe it's a bit complicated. But the KNEEPADS is to protect your knees. And why do you need to protect your knees, according to Gavin Newsom, the CEOs who appease Trump? Because, well, they are going to get on their knees in front of Trump. That is what Gavin Newsom is implying. I guess that he got that idea from his wife. You remember that his wife had this issues, this encounters with this Hollywood producer. I forgot his name for a second. Help me in the comments. You remember the Hollywood producer, well, in disgrace. Help me in the comments because I absolutely forgot his name. But let's play this clip meanwhile.
I think
I'm
it
not
does.
handing them out.
And it
Though
does.
I do have a few if you'd like. I don't know.
And honestly, it sounds.
By the way, I'm not kidding. They're the new Trump signature series kneepads. Yeah, and they are available online. I told you the last one sold out.
And people applaud because many people, thank you, Harvey Weinstein. Thank you, Liza Jane. Harvey Weinstein, Gavin Newsom's wife, Harvey Weinstein. I made a video about that. You should check that out. But yeah, people were applauding because so many people again say, "Oh, Trump is a disgrace. Trump is a." We just need, the world just needs Trump to be effective, nothing else.
I just want to
It's a serious moment. We laugh. Anyway, these are available and in bulk too.
Yeah, he was actually selling them and were sold out in past October. So the guy is for real. I mean, I have to give it to Gavin Newsom. He's trying to do something different because it's like, I think that he's the only Democrat who has realized that the DEI stuff, the trans people stuff, the immigration stuff, it's not gonna work for 2028. And he realized it in 2024. He has been doing this for some time. It's been more than 1 year into this campaign. Even if he denies that he's gonna run for president, we all know that he's gonna run for president. And he wants to distance himself from the pack and, of course, make enough noise to make sure that nobody remembers what he has done for California. And I say those words not in a good way, not in a good light. So again, A, for trying, I guess. I think that that's something that, I think this is an understatement. Newsom has destroyed California, and we know what would happen to the United States if Newsom becomes president of the United States. A great analysis or theory would be what would happen, or what would be worse if Kamala Harris had become president of the United States or Gavin Newsom president of the United States. I don't know. That is the tough question. That is the tough question. I don't know how that would turn out. But Gavin Newsom has a bizarre meltdown in Davos. I should have brought a bunch of knee pads for all the world leaders. Diplomacy with Donald Trump. He's a T-Rex. You mate with him or he devours you. I can't take this complicity. People rolling over. Well, he is not wrong. He is not wrong. Okay. You certainly cannot mess with Donald Trump, especially when he has say all the weapons who go boom, and the tariffs and everything else. Especially right now, it's a bit hard.
Newsom, do you have a message for Europeans who are concerned about the messages from the White House around Greenland this week?
Yeah, it's time to buck up. It's time to get serious and stop being complicit. It's time to stand tall and firm, have a backbone. I've seen this in the United States, the supine Congress playing both sides, say one thing on a text or a tweet and another publicly. It's time to have principles. It's time to stand tall and strong.
Does that mean responding?
You see, I don't know why he's talking about standing tall, standing strong, against Trump, and he's turning his body away from the reporter that he's talking to. He's lowering his face. He's lowering his chin. His body language is usually way more confident than this. And I say this because, Gavin Newsom is not like this. I think that this might have been that he was still angry for not being able to speak.
Time to stand united. You make that determination. I don't make that determination.
But when you say standing tall, what do you mean?
Just I can't take this complicity. People rolling over. I should have brought a bunch of knee pads for all the world leaders. I mean, handing out crowns and this is pathetic. Nobel Prizes, they are being given away. It's just pathetic. And I hope people understand how pathetic they look on the world stage. At least from an American perspective, it's embarrassing.
So what should Europe be doing?
You should decide, the Europeans should decide for themselves what to do. But one thing they can't do is what they've been doing. And they've been playing. This guy is playing folks for fools, and it's embarrassing.
Europeans think this is diplomacy.
Yeah, it's words, it's an opinion. It's but is Trump effective or not? People are gonna say that. Oh no, Trump is not effective. Trump is disgrace. Again, it's part of the game. But in this case, I would say I would tell you one thing. I always like to discuss how these people could do what they do a bit better, right? And I don't know, he could pinpoint all the ways Donald Trump has failed to deliver. I mean, I'm sure that he's got interns and people that work for him that could investigate that. Okay, find all the ways that Donald Trump has failed to deliver. I don't know, mention the Epstein files for the upteenth time, because we need to talk about Pam Bondi at some point. Not today, please. Not today. I want to have a good day. I don't want to talk about Pam Bondi. But yes, I don't know, now that we have a million more documents about that, which is insane. I don't know what's going to happen with that. That's going to be fun. Most likely we'll make a video, but still, you could say the release or not release, as so many Americans, even people who did not vote for Trump, say that they really don't care anymore about the Epstein files. So many people do care. We have to acknowledge that. But most important is, has your life gotten better? Is your life getting better? Do you feel safer? Do you feel, how are the prices? How the, I think that there was this montage of Daddy Yankee gasolina shared by the White House about how the gas prices have gone down. Maybe that's one thing. But I mean, if you use numbers, you use actual numbers, it was something that was totally missing from Kamala's campaign as well. Because numbers is something that people can understand. Numbers that, oh yeah, the numbers like gas prices, like grocery prices, like electricity bill prices, that's something that you can see, and you live through that, and it's something that is Donald Trump delivering or not. There's some things that are more abstract, like, you know, having a safer hemisphere. That is maybe a bit too abstract for most people, because most people want to know, how does this benefit me? So why don't you go for it, Gavin? Why can't you bring the receipts? Maybe it's because you don't have them. Is Trump that effective in every way that you can't have receipts about him not achieving all that he has promised? But we're just 1 year in, and let's see what happens in the 3 years that come. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit, and this video, by the way, this previous section goes on my Power Pundit channel. I forgot to say much love and bliss with this one. Basically, what I want to do, I'm keeping an eye on your comments. I'm going to highlight your comments while I do the other thing that I wanted to do here. Content. Wait a second. Want to make sure that everything is ready for the next topic that we're going to have finally, a body language analysis. We haven't had a body language analysis in some time. We haven't had a body language analysis in some time, and we have one today, which is great. We needed a body language analysis. You see Somali ad. She's called right. Oh my God! Sci-Fan 6-7 just paid $4.49. That is quite expensive. That is quite expensive. I think that depends on the state, right? Depends on the state. All right, we are ready for next topic. Body language analysis. So many. That's what the body language guy should be for. Okay, this maybe you have seen the video on X already. It was in New Mexico. It was 229. All right. So we haven't had a body language analysis in a while, and you know that one of the first thing that we think when we think about body language analysis is to just come with a complete and open mind. We are not accusing anybody of anything. That is important. But yeah, there are gonna be things about this that but let's watch this. 23-year-old Nasra Ahmed alleged she was quote unquote kidnapped and brutalized by ICE at a Minnesota news conference. That man, he called me the N-word, and then they arrested me. It was multiple people. They used a lot of force. All right. Johnny Maga says that this is laughably bad acting. I already saw the clip. This is not my first reaction to the clip, but I want you to watch it and pay attention to her body language. We have a, let's say, front row seat to this, and let's see her words and what she says. I'm going to be pausing the video every now and then for my comments.
We're following these two men, and I was waiting for these two men to hold the door for me, and I told them, hey, can you hold the door for me? And I walked right in the middle, and when I was in the middle, ICE came. They came out of their cars. They asked me to see my ID. And while they were asking me to see the ID, they just decided it was nice to be racist and say really nasty things to me. And yeah, that man, he called me the N-word. And
okay, there's one thing that I don't get from the get-go, because she is apparently, according to what I see online, because I have no way to confirm this, that she is an American citizen, and she showed these agents her ID, and it seems that it was not enough. Or are Somalians also forging citizen or American IDs? Or I don't know how that works. Why would that happen? Well, maybe there was some confusion, right? Maybe we can give her a pass. This is just the first part of the video.
He called me that, and then he arrested me. They arrested me. It was multiple people. They used a lot of force to arrest me. I actually got a scab that was healing while I was in jail.
Okay, I actually had a scab. All right, so you're a very fast healer, by the way. And why call that whatever they did to you? Well, she has not said directly that it was product of what they did. She did not say that. And she just said that she had a scab. The scab was from what? Maybe you slipped on a banana peel by entering the cell, and then you brush your forehead against the wall. That can happen. I mean, that can happen. Banana peels are dangerous. You have to mind them every time. But I don't see the connection, especially the word scab. But there are so many words in English language to say that you were hit or you have a wound or something. And it's very convenient that she has to, you know, this looks like those Japanese cartoons when somebody has this, has been hit, and they had this, what is the name of this? This band-aids. This band-aids, very convenient band-aids on her head. Okay, I guess.
Scab that was healing while I was in jail. But they pushed me hard. They used a lot of violence. My body still hurts. I got a concussion.
I don't want to be the cynical here, but couldn't be here or records. I don't know. Is ICE not wearing body cam, right? Because we did not see any body cam footage. Did we see any body cam footage with Renee Good? No, right? They were filming with the phone. So ICE are not wearing body cam footage. I think that body cam are mandatory for police officers, but I don't think they are mandatory for ICE. And when I have seen ICE officers, I have not seen any body cam on them. But there must be records of this, of all that happened. I mean, actual records, right? She should be able to sue on the grounds of what happened with witnesses as well. Because maybe officers don't have a body cam, but at the same time that happened with Renee Good, everybody has a camera on their pocket nowadays. Everybody. So I don't know. Maybe it would help a lot if some good Samaritan who filmed what happened at that moment, or somebody who was near, they were like exiting a public building. Somebody was holding a gate for her. Maybe any of her friends, because maybe she was hanging out with other Somalians, or she was all on her own. I don't know. So many questions.
It's really hard for me to speak because of that concussion.
It's really hard for me to speak because of that concussion. So it was a concussion, right? So, okay. How did that concussion happen? I did not hear that he was punched or hit or anything. There was no description of that fact.
They were just using a lot of force to arrest me, and I was screaming, I was crying, I was so scared. I've never been arrested in my life. I don't have a criminal record.
I don't have a criminal record. Okay, yeah. Okay, maybe you're saying because you could actually not have a criminal record. I'm gonna give her a pass with that one, but I don't know. Maybe
I have a clean record.
Again, some of you are gonna say, "Oh, she is denying with her head." Remember that in Western countries, I know that she doesn't come from a Western country, but again, she could have the influence of the culture. Even back in Somalia, you could emphasize something by just doing this. When you say something that's delicious, you shake your head. So, yeah, we shake our heads to say no, but we also shake our heads in the Western world to emphasize sometimes. So
I don't have a criminal record.
And in fact, she is denying with her words. I don't have a criminal record. She's denying with her head at the same time. That is actually solid body language. So maybe she actually doesn't have a criminal record or didn't have a criminal record. She does have it now.
I have a clean record. It was just, and then that detainment, I was detained. I was literal cuffs were put on my legs, cuffs on my hands, and I was actually detained with a Native American woman. And God bless her heart, she went through a lot too. She was also detained by ICE, and she was also a U.S. citizen, and like me, and she had gashes on her.
Okay, she just said that she's a U.S. citizen. She said that herself. I think that's where I got it from. It would have been important to say that detail. Maybe from the start. Maybe she said that at the start of the press conference. Maybe somebody said that for her, and that's why she took so long to say that important detail.
And like me, and she had gashes on her face. They shattered her windows. She had blood on her jeans, her corduroy jeans, and she was crying because she was so scared because she was with her dog, she was so scared that her dog got hurt. She was so scared for her life. We were both crying together. We were holding each other tight. And I'll never forget, the fear that we both felt in our hearts that day. And
Okay, you're making things up. I was trying to be fair. I was trying to be fair, but you began a complete Pixar movie, but not the Pixar movie the older Pixar movies. No, the current Pixar movie. You had to go full DEI, adding a woman of color who had gushes because of ICE, and you had to add a dog. I mean, what else? What else? You needed, I don't know what else you needed for empathy in this. And we began hugging, and of course, when she begins to sob and to kind of try to cry, there is absolutely no sign of any sort of emotion. Maybe she runs a daycare, and the money from the daycare, she uses that for Botox. No sort of emotion on her brow whatsoever. Okay, no tears, no glassy eyes, nothing. So, two things can be true at the same time. She could have resisted arrest from ICE. She could have done something stupid. She's got some band-aids on her forehead. I don't want to see whatever is below those band-aids. I'm not interested. Maybe, yeah, she was, well, it's obvious that she was detained. There must be records of that. That actually happened. I can't imagine that she is gonna lie so blatantly like this. But no, the last part, no, it's just like you're trying to exaggerate for a sob story. I don't know. Come to my learning center.
Like the fear that we both felt in our hearts that day. And like, I'm so sorry if I'm getting a little emotional, but
some time.
Was there a box of kittens? Yeah. Below, you know, well, we were hugging and crying, and all of a sudden we hear some kittens, and we discovered that under the seat of the cell we were in prison, there was a box full of kittens. Yeah, that's absolutely. That was a cherry on top.
Thank you.
Right. I found it funny, that last expression she did right at the end. Oh, and she, you know, after the crying, quote unquote, you think that this is I don't know, the face of somebody who is stressed, actually distressed. I don't know. Hollywood is calling her for what? Well, there's so much. I'm not gonna lie. She's even a better actress than AI. So maybe that could help. The body cams will refute this. I don't think that they are body cams. The fabrication of a hate crime is a hate crime. Video, or it didn't happen at Bet Money. There's no video, but we should have seen video by now. There must have been video, of course. Why not? Band-aids are a cute touch. I see no bruises, nothing on the wrist or head. Stop impending the law and you won't get arrested. Again, try to act with common sense. And the memes did not wait. Jesse Somaliad over here. Yeah, this is what AI is good for. AI is good for memes. AI is good for memes. There's another angle. We could see this from another angle, just in case. And if let's watch this.
They kidnapped me. They took me. They arrested and detained me for 2 days, and I was put in county jail. ICE came. They came out of their cars. They asked me to see my ID, and while they were asking me to see the ID, that man, he called me the N-word. They pushed me hard. They used a lot of violence. My body still hurts. I got a concussion.
The description of what happened, they asked for my ID, then they said the N-word, and they pushed me, and they used a lot of violence, is really vague. All right? I said if George Floyd was alive, I'm pretty sure that he could describe very easily, okay, this guy just put me on the ground and put his knee over my neck. Okay, that is a description of a physical exchange. All right, and exchange of force. It's not like you are confused of what is going on, that you don't see what is happening. All right, you can describe what happened to you so people can understand what happened, and precisely the most important thing, which is the description of the alleged aggression, is vague. So, all right, maybe there are some more details.
It's really hard for me to speak because of that concussion. And I was screaming, I was crying, I was so scared. I've never been arrested in my life. I don't have a criminal record. I have a clean record. Literal cuffs were put on my legs, cuffs on my hands. And I was actually detained with a Native American woman.
Or a Native American woman, but it's the diversity, right? Native American, that's checks the DEI checklist.
And God bless her heart, she went through a lot too. She was also detained by ICE, and she was also a U.S. citizen, and like me, and she had gashes on her face. They shattered her windows.
What was her name? Say her name. You remember her name?
She had blood on her jeans, her corduroy jeans, and she was crying because she was so scared because she was with her dog, she was so scared that her dog got hurt. She was so scared for her life. We were both crying together. We were holding each other tight. And I'll never forget, like, the fear that we both felt in our hearts that day.
All right. So, okay, there could be a video. Absolutely could be a video. There could be exchange of force. Most likely with this kind of cases, that is going to pop up maybe as we speak, maybe as this live stream is going, maybe tomorrow, that is going to appear. If there's video, and there must be video, that's going to appear. At some point, we will absolutely take a look at that, but the sub-story with even the box of kittens, nice touch. We need to take a look at that. But let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy in this case. Much love and bliss. So yes, that section was interesting because one of the things that I noticed immediately is that, well, people pitch me these topics on X. That is mainly what I use X for. It's very useful. Because you can tag me on X. That's something that YouTube is very hard. It's very, very hard to, let's say, read all your comments because I get so many comments in every single channel that, yeah, it gets a bit difficult. It gets a bit difficult, especially when you have questions. Jesus, have you seen this and such? Even if YouTube has a filter for, how to say this, to just show questions from in the comments. Some questions have nothing to do with actual topics. I make sure to check out this and this. So X is much better for that. Twitter has been much better for that. And we are ready. We are ready to go for our next topic. What is our next topic? What is in? Oh my God, the next topic. I sometimes think that Trump can be controversial, and I'm going to get flagged for this. But one of the things that I like about the next topic is that I have lost subscribers over the next topic steadily. And I know that you're going to tell me that thank you for another live stream, Jesus. My pleasure, Lizzie. My pleasure. It's always a pleasure. We're going to do these live streams every day. At least every weekday. I don't know if every day, including Saturdays and Sundays. I had a meeting with my YouTube partner. When you have a certain following, more than 100,000 followers and subscribers on YouTube, they assign you kind of a guy, an expert that helps you navigate things. And I was telling him that I want to do this every day. And he told me, okay, just make sure that you give yourself some space to, breathe and now and then, spend time with family, spend time with yourself. Because, this can, especially when covering the news. Covering the news can be this overwhelming sensation that everything is going to hell. But no, the things are going to turn out right. And that's the kind of thing that I want to talk maybe at the end of the live stream. I should talk about that at the end of the live stream with the energy is brimming. We have a brimming energy. But this is the kind of topics. This is the kind of topics that make me lose subscribers. And I'm going to tell you, the subscribers that I lose with this topic, I am glad. I'm actually glad that happens. Thank you, SSJB, for referencing my X account. Just a word of warning, my X account is R-rated. It is not meant for people under 21 years old, and because it's nothing, the language. I'm way more unfiltered in there, and maybe I will make it a bit less offensive, because I also want to tell people the problem is that if you're too offensive in these platforms, then you get kind of banned or shadow banned. You get hidden from the timeline. We need to talk about Candace Owens now because she has finally received a cease and desist letter from Turning Point following months of public claims in which she accused the group of responsibility for the killing of Charlie Kirk. And I know that so many of you who follow Candace Owens are going to say, she never said that explicitly. She never said that, but I mean, it's like we understand how English works and we understand how implying works. And if you imply something and imply that in every single one of your shows, then, well, let's say you're going to get a notice about that. And she was noticed when Erica Kirk flew all the way to her city, to Kansas City, and set the record straight with Turning Point's lawyers. In recent remarks, Owens urged donors to the organization to seek refunds, calling on supporters to withdraw their backing. The dispute is further complicated by the fact that Owens remains bound by a non-disclosure agreement with TPUSA that includes a non-disparagement provision. Apologize for my English, but that is another thing that we found out today, or at least I found out today. And yes, there's people that say that Erica Kirk is making herself a millionaire over this. So it would mean that Charlie Kirk was making himself a millionaire over Turning Point, because Erica Kirk is basically doing what Charlie was doing when he was alive. She's just continuing whatever Charlie Kirk was doing. So I don't know how that works, but you know that you cannot argue with some people. And Dave Rubin, I have to say thanks, Dave, for coming forward. And I was going to say coming out, but he already did a long time ago, pun intended. But he said in this post, the last time I saw Candace at my house in 2022, all she talked about for an hour was how much she hated Charlie. I remember it vividly because the other two people she was ranting against that night were Ivanka and Jared, whom we had just met and had dinner with a few days before, and who couldn't have been kinder, more decent people. Yeah, that is 100% true. And when she claimed this didn't happen or it's a Zionist lie, ask her if she enjoyed the chicken parmesan. So, it's Dave Rubin and Candace already come forward saying that he's lying, but okay, this is actual receipts. This is actual receipts. Natalie Denise, thank you for sharing this clip. Candace tries to act macho and challenges TPUSA amid a freshly served cease and desist. Let's watch the clip, because why not? Let's watch this.
And I told you guys that you'd have better luck from keeping the sun rising into the sky than to try to keep me from investigating Charlie Kirk's assassination. In other words, Turning Point USA, you'd have better luck suing the Sun. Get your lawyer to send a cease and desist to the Sun, and you will have better luck in terms of getting it to stop than from getting me to look away to what happened to Charlie. That's how I feel, okay? And you can just take that as a fact, take it to the bank, do what you have to do, get your donors, and I'm sure you got a lot of them to fund, whatever it is. But I told my lawyer, here's what you do. Go back to them and say, how much money do you want? This contract stuff is just, it's done, guys. This whole thing of contracting people so that you can be a bad person and getting a lawyer to read times, it's done. It's over.
Okay, one thing that I've noticed, I told you that back in the day, one thing that I watched from Candace was that first episode of Becoming Brigitte. I think that was the documentary that she made about Brigitte Macron. And I said, okay, that she knows how to organize ideas. She knows how to, she knows how to persuade with words. I gave her that. That's something that is not going to change. I noticed in this clip that she doesn't have the same, ability with the words. And it's undeniable. You cannot deny that Candace Owens has a lot of ability with words. That's something that she just has it. Being able to just craft these live streams, just basically, let's say, not improvise, because she has a production team behind this, but she has a way with words. she didn't have that fluency. She was like not that fluent in this clip. She was, she should have come more, confident and, I don't care what you're doing, more nonchalant, more even counter-threatening. But she did not come out as that. I found that odd. This is still a bit more of the clip.
It's dead on arrival. Name your price, Turning Point USA. How much would you like? Would you like all of your money back? What's it worth? What's it worth to you, actually? I want to know the number because then I'm going to go online, start a GoFundMe, and raise it overnight.
Okay, so it's not like Candace doesn't stutter or never stutters. She does stutters every now and then. You know that happens when your mind is racing and you're trying to connect one thought to the other. It's something that is normal in every single person. There's no one out there speaking in front of a camera, even if they have every single thought aligned in their mind, they're going to stutter a bit. But she's stuttering more than usual, much more than usual. So it's like she is, and what she's saying about the contract, about the money that the Turning Point was is not the usual clarity that she has at the same time. So in terms of a statement, and in terms of how Candace is speaking right now, it's like, well, she's maybe actually afraid of this.
That's how much people care about getting to the truth. So you're going to see how much people actually care about learning what happened on September 10th. There are things that you should value above money in life.
I don't think that this is about money. I don't think that they're thinking that they're going to suck you dry of money. I think that this is about stopping, as you said that you were going to stop if Erica, all right, or your husband told you to stop and Erica told you to stop, and you said, nah, I will just keep going. I'm not going to read this one. This is too long. But this is interesting. I don't have anything personal against Candace, says Ashton Forbes. But this says that she had contractual obligation to not make disparaging comments about TPUSA due to being paid by them until very recently. And I'm going to show the text. And I said that there's an ongoing contractual obligation to not make any disparaging, false, misleading, or otherwise defamatory comments about TPUSA. And I can imagine, maybe you'll listen to Candace Owens, or you are paying attention to Candace Owens. Let's think about that for a second. And you could say, but Candace is more concerned with the truth than to follow any she's willing to break the terms of contract just because of her friend Charlie, who was murdered. You could have a point. You could make that argument, and that could be an actual argument. Okay, if I want to find out about how my best friend was murdered, I won't care about being silenced or anything. I have my attorneys. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm worried about the guy who constructed you, right? But then we have a problem with this. And the problem is a conflict of interest, an underlying conflict of interest that we're finding out now. Why are we finding out about this now and not before? Because the first person with let's say the most interest in having this exposed is Candace herself. She must have revealed that this is a thing from, since forever, since she began, doing the research. Because, that would have explained a lot of things, or at least maybe not explain a lot of things, but set the record straight about any of her ties with a Turning Point. Why didn't she say about why, of all that she has said, of all that she has, all this crazy stuff that she has come up with, because I have no other way of saying it, why did she skip the part that she was on this contractual obligation until very recently with a Turning Point? I mean, I think that it was an important piece of information for her relationship with everything, with her audience, with in general. And there's also this. I want to show you this a screenshot from A.L. Jacoby. Now that Tim Pool and Dave Rubin have both confirmed that Candace Owens was bad-mouthing Charlie behind his back, this tweet is worth revisiting. A year before Charlie was murdered, Candace said that she hadn't followed him in a long time and implied that they were no longer friends. Maybe did not imply that they were no longer friends, but she said, I wasn't following Charlie and I definitely did not delete any photos. We have a lot of discussions offline and we've both grown a lot since the early days of TPUSA. That is English, in case you don't know how English works. That is English. We have both grown a lot since the early days of Turning Point. What do you think that means? Okay, we have grown. Maybe into our separate journeys. That is okay. But why wasn't she following him? That I found that a bit strange. I mean, again, let's say she wanted to set the record straight from this this AF post from what's September? What's what? When was this? I sometimes forget. This was from May of 2024. Interesting. Oh. Some time ago. So as well, Erica Kirk says the aftermath of her husband's assassination revealed who in her life was real and who was fake. She explained that the tragedy exposed those who exploited her husband's fame versus those who truly care. I wonder who she's talking about. I don't know. I need some clues.
When all of this happened, you really see who your true friends are. You see who is in your corner. You see who is writing, excuse me, this microphone, who is writing my husband's coattails and who genuinely cared and who genuinely wanted to be there for us as a family. And anyways, everyone, does their best to pour into you and be there for you. And
all right. So one of the things that again, I do want to focus on the midterms, even if Candace said that the midterms were not important. They are important, and if Turning Point is the way to win those midterms in one way or another, well, I think that has to be supported in some way. But having said that, I can disagree with some people that Turning Point invites to their those massive events that they organize. That could be a thing as well. Yes, this could be complex, but a cease and desist letter is not that complex. That is not complex at all. And that is why they sat down back then, Erica and Candace, and it's like they set the record straight, and especially give Candace all the information that she needs and be open with all the information that she could request, not because they want Candace to be in the loop, because they really couldn't care less about Candace. That's the reality. But to make sure that Candace is aware of what is going on with the public side of Turning Point, so if she lies publicly on her live stream, on her show, then they can sue her for actual defamation, because they can prove that she knew the truth about Turning Point, what was going on at Turning Point, what was going on with Erica Kirk. So if she keeps lying, then they have all the grounds, all the ingredients to sue her. I don't know. She seems happy about that. Maybe that will be a good show for her. But let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Much love and bliss. And we continue. with this. Can't Candace find another rabbit hole to go down? I can understand. As once you get in this how to say this, in this topics, and you begin stacking all the stuff that she has done and on top of the Charlie Kirk assassination, it's hard to backtrack. It's extremely hard to backtrack because you have created that monster. And once you create that monster, it's the same monster that I've told you that Democrats have created. All the trans craziness, all the DEI stuff, all the ESG stuff that they are facing out as well. All that, we love abroadians and illegals stuff. They have created this monster that they don't know how to deal with. And that is eating them alive. And they want to just try to pretend that it never happened. And I'm pretty sure that at some point, it's possible that Candace is going to act like, she's going to pretend that, I never said that. When she actually, that happened with the Piers Morgan interview. I never really covered that because you know that I don't like to cover Piers Morgan, but that happened with Piers Morgan, and it's sad that Piers Morgan owns you. That is the saddest part of all. But when it comes to owning somebody, nothing is closer the way that Meghan owns Harry. And we need to talk about Gingerbread today. We have some news about Harry, that he basically cried in court talking about Meghan and how Meghan suffered. I mean, how pathetic can you get? I can understand. Maybe Meghan was jealous that Brooklyn Beckham was getting all the spotlight and was putting all this spotlight on Victoria at the same time that Meghan must be jealous because of that. So she made sure to send Gingerbread to be close to tears as he tells court of Meghan's misery. And I want to zoom in on this word, misery, because I remember one time, long time ago, like 4 years ago, when I was talking, you know that I used to joke a lot about Meghan and do body language analysis, serious body language analysis, but also satire. I add a lot of humor as much as I can. But I remember a couple times that I had this outburst. I don't know if I think there was a live stream, of course. And I told Meghan that basically she had no right to say that she was oppressed or had been through misery or anything. There are millions of women in the world going through actual misery, actual ordeals, actual horrors for her to use that word. So I remember that I had this outburst, was just one or two in 4 years, because I don't want to scold Meghan. I think that is not gentlemanly, but she deserved that just because playing the victim so many times and saying, I think those were 2 words that she said. She said she has absolutely no right. So this is more of that. This is even more pathetic. And court ended early. Thank you, Roger Sage, by the way. Big shout out to Roger Sage. Court ended early because Harry spent his time denying evidence, fighting the lawyers, getting told off by the judge, and tried to emotionally manipulate the court. He had nothing of value to add, which is the story of his life. Good one. And Richard Barner, Prince Harry was overcome with emotion. Just then, just like maybe not like the Somaliad, juicy Somaliad, overcome with emotion just then at the end of the evidence while describing the effects of male coverage. They have made my wife's life an absolute misery, he told the court. Once again, the court finishes early because testimony did not take as long as thought. He did not have much to say. And all the last says the office of Indy. No wonder Charlotte Griffith is so far in Mr. Mischief R's. The Duke of Sausages, find out. The Duke of Sausages used a Facebook profile named Mr. Mischief. Mr. Mischief. That's I want to keep this family friendly. I want to keep this family friendly. It's too early. It's too early for this. To contact a journalist, the High Court has heard. Harry is giving evidence to the High Court, and on the cross-examination, the Duke was accused of using the social media account to exchange friendly messages and his mobile number with Charlotte Griffiths, a male journalist. He denied the claims. Now Harry claims that never happened. That he never did that. He has no idea if he exchanged messages with a journalist, including his private phone number. I mean, I can understand. I am not a superstar, an A-lister right now. The people have reached out to me. There's an email that I have to answer, by the way. Even so, I would remember if I share my phone with, a journalist. If I was raised in a house in which they have taught me, even from my grandmother to everyone else, to be careful with journalists, unless I have, Somali level IQ, which I think that Harry loves Africa so much is because of that equally Somali level IQ. That is as good as an admission that he did. The judge is going to have a jump through all kinds of hoops to avoid calling Harry an unreliable witness. HRH Princess Paradolia, he appears to misremember a lot of convenient facts. Not looking good, Ginger, says Regina as well. Dan Wootton has this section as well. Prince Harry spent the day speaking about his exes in court, much to Meghan Markle's horror. I'm blaming the British press for his drink and drugs problems. It wasn't a good look at all. Well, Harry's never a good look. And Dan used AI to recreate some of Ginger Brad's appearance in court. Let's watch this.
What's going on here is Harry attempting to blame every bad decision he ever made on the British press. And that included today, Lauren, a suggestion that the issues that he had with drink and drugs.
Basically, the reason he is still on drink and drugs right now is Meghan. Back in the day, it was the press. It's very simple. It's very simple. It's black and white. The press, Meghan. Drink and drugs. This is it.
I think go on to this day are all down to the newspapers. Watch this.
A campaign, an obsession of having every aspect of my life under surveillance.
Okay, one thing. We know that this is AI for two reasons. This is the first reason, okay? And the other reason is that Harry looks like he was actually alive. Something that we haven't seen Harry speaking like this in forever. Harry, this is like the actual American version of Harry. I think that I don't know. I think that no British chap speaks like this.
So they could get the run on their competitors and drive me paranoid beyond belief, isolating me and probably wanting to drive me to drugs and drinking to sell more of their papers.
I'm going to play you this from his witness statement. And to me, this is the relationship he never got over. This is the woman he never got over. His words are raw, and I can understand why Meghan Markle had grave concerns about this case because, of course, his relationship with Chelsea Davy now front and center once again.
No, the ghosts of girlfriends past. Oh my God, Chelsea Davy. This is something that this is painful. This is painful. This is embarrassing. I don't know. Is this going to be? Oh my
I was
God.
never suspicious of Chelsea in relation to stories like this, but I was of her friends. If I saw this story at the time, I would have been very frustrated and angry. I would have questioned how Associated found out this information, but at the same time, I would have felt like I had to accept this as the reality of my life.
No. Wait a second. You know, some of you. Let me zoom in and make sure to put this. So the disclaimer is huge, and you don't miss it. That this is an AI recreation of Harry in court by Dan Wootton. You know that I'm a Metallica fan. I have told you that many times. And the second album that I heard from Metallica, that I got my hands on, is And Justice for All. There's one song from that album that is called The Frayed Ends of Sanity. And in that song, which is why, I don't think it was a single, but it's one of my favorite Metallica songs. It is about somebody who is, it has this persecution, it's like this obsession that somebody is pursuing you, somebody is after you. Hear them calling me, goes the song. And I can find a better example of something that depicts Harry, as in, Harry, if you're watching this, or the intern Archwell that watches my videos, Harry, if you're watching this, I can understand that you want this main character syndrome. As in, everybody should have a bit of main character syndrome. You want to feel that you're the main character of your story, that the universe is out to be your friend, all right? We need to think positively. We need to be optimistic. We don't want to be pessimistic. That's too much pessimism, too much toxicity out there. So you want to be the main character, but I don't know how to say this. You need to understand that for the most part, people don't care about you. People don't care about me. People don't care about, if you're watching this, for the most part, that is great, because it means that we can do basically whatever we want. If we think that, what are going to say, what are people going to say about this, what people are going to judge me, you won't go very far in life, because you will be afraid of what people think of you. Big news for everybody: most people don't pay attention to you. And in Harry's case, he was born to the privilege, but not into the responsibility of being, in the direct line of succession to the throne. So that was, I've said this a couple times, that was a great opportunity to do great things in the world, being inside the royal family and even outside the royal family as well. He would still have that platform. I said at some point that he would never cease to be a prince, but we know what happened to Andrew, and he absolutely squandered it. And I'm tired of pretending that it was after Meghan. No, this was before Meghan. Meghan just exploited what was already there. I'm tired of Meghan came and just changed Harry. No, it was already a mess. And he was an adult mess, so he had the, prefrontal cortex to, know that this was not the right call. This were not the right calls to make back in the day before Meghan, and right now, and after Meghan as well. This is I don't know how to define this in terms of how unmanly this is. You keep doing this. You I don't know what you're looking for, and you still want to play the victim for what? I mean, your attorneys, I don't remember the word in British. They are making bank with this. They're making bank with this. They're using you for exposure, of course. This is great for publicity. That's great for them, but it's very bad for you. Not that I care, but it is as pathetic as it gets. And it's even more pathetic when you're using all this, when you're using all that to just keep pushing the idea that Meghan was miserable. Something that, again, is triggering for actual women who are in, not saying that Meghan is not an actual woman, it's that women who are in actual distress, who are in actual horrific conditions all over the world, and Meghan claims to protect and try to work for them. And none of that happens. I don't know how many times I'm going to say this. But yeah, Harry's life is really sad, and you can see it. It was complicated before Meghan. Now it's just sad and pathetic. Who can fix it? Only Harry. Will Harry fix it? At this point, I don't know. This is that effect that you have invested in something so much that you don't see any other option but keep investing on that until who knows what happens. But it makes for a good gossip and show and making fun of this too. But let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. Much love and bliss. And yes, that one you can find it on my Royal Rogue channel. Remember, I have my Royal Rogue channel as well for everything royals and non-royals. But I uploaded my Brooklyn Beckham analysis to that. He's tortured like the Beckham boy. My God, yeah. This the only torture is having to listen to Meghan all day. That is actual torture. That is actual torture. I don't know how does he cope with that? How are we in terms of time? 1 hour and a half. I think that we can have a couple more topics, 3 more topics, but 4 more topics. I don't know. I'm hungry. I didn't have lunch. But I can go on. I can go on. Let's do this. We have another topic that I haven't covered in a while, and it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that I haven't covered this in a while. We need to talk about Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. We need to talk about Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively and the fact that the things that we're finding out about Taylor Swift, Tay-Tay, being involved in this drama beyond what we knew already, it's really concerning because this is basically a power move, a lot of power behind the scenes to destroy the career of a man. And again, I am grateful that I did not cover this back in the day. You remember that this was basically on fire over so long. And it turns out that Blake Lively ended up suing YouTube creators over what they were saying. And they had to scramble and get, lawyer up. And, that sometimes that's what I tell you, that this main character syndrome. I say that I am protected by God. If you pray, I ask God, please protect me. And maybe God say, I'm going to protect you, Jesus. Just stay away from Blake Lively. This woman is not to be messed up with. But now, the things that people are finding out, well, this is actual mean girls stuff. Taylor Swift slams its end with us, director Justin Baldoni, as a bitch in text with Blake Lively. All right, we could address this in detail, but there's a lot of unsealed documents coming out. I know that so many of you have asked me, take a look at this. The problem is that it has been more of a legal situation, not much of a let's take a look at their body language or their statement situations, because there have not been many public statements in terms of talking about that, because they are like suing each other. I don't know if Justin Baldoni was this one of the lawsuits was dismissed, right? The $400 million, something like that, was something insane. But there haven't been this direct exchange between them, so this is more of a legal matter. Even so, you say that in the court documents, you see Sony executives calling Blake Lively an effing terrorist, epic level stupid, unsavvy and amateur who brought all the backlash on herself. And I have to say that at the same time, that so many of you know that I have been a fan of Ryan Reynolds for so long, especially after what he did with the original Deadpool, one of my favorite comic book characters, if not my favorite comic book character after Spawn. Maybe you know Todd McFarlane's Spawn. Deadpool, Batman, of course. I forgot Batman. Oh my God, I'm gonna get in trouble with Batfleck. But yes, when I found out the kind of guy that Ryan Reynolds was turning out to be with all this drama. Oh my God, this is why you have to keep away from whoever inspires you, or maybe you watch movies, maybe you read books. My recommendation is do not find out too much about their personal lives. Even so, they're gonna make sure expose their personal lives and their true character at some point in one way or another. That will come out. And it seems that, well, shout out to Colonel Kurtz. Colonel Kurtz has asked me to go live with her sometimes. I've been a bit busy, but Colonel, maybe we will do some kind of collab at some point. Wow, Blake Lively was so afraid of Justin Baldoni's sexual harassment that she insisted he go to her penthouse one-on-one to write sex scenes without the intimacy coordinator present. Okay, let's take a look at the document. Baldoni's dated handwritten notes from his meetings with the intimacy coordinator, which again Lively declined attending, were read to Lively at her penthouse, where she insisted she and Baldoni meet to write sex scenes together. I mean, I don't know how much smut do you read. We have talked about smut, which is literally the most profitable genre of books in Amazon. Smut, especially the one written, the romance written for women. You know what kind of romance we're talking about. I don't know if this could be this could be the plot for a good old smut story or book. Meeting together at her penthouse to write sex scenes. As it was, the sex scenes were not written, and it was always Baldoni's intention for them to be written with input from both the intimacy coordinator and Lively. Because that is the appropriate thing to do. I mean, I can't just, I have so many ways to imagine, to picture that, how that happened. That is, I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to address this. There are videos like this. The texts between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively about Justin Baldoni are starting to trickle out, and it's insane. Let's take a look at this.
I'm going through this unredacted, unsealed evidence from Blake Lively's side, and in it, some of Taylor Swift's communications with Blake have been exposed. Now, most of the text messages will probably come from the Wayfair side, so I don't have the actual documents, but let me read you a couple things that have been unredacted here. On April 12th, Lively asked her friend, the world-famous musician Taylor Swift, for help, referring to Baldoni as this doofus director of my movie. She went on to describe...
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that. Baldoni is the director of the movie. He still is. He directed the movie. It's his movie. And Lively spoke about the movie in terms of my movie, as if the movie was hers. If you know the entire story, is like she was hijacking from a producer role to basically everything in the end, not directing, of course, but basically pushing more and more roles up to executive producer, which I think Sony in the end gave it to her. And that was a big deal.
Describe him as a clown who thinks he's a writer now. She asked Swift to endorse the revised script she was proposing, even without having read it, saying you don't have to read it, of course. Swift agreed to do...
So Taylor Swift basically agreed to endorse the script that Blake had written without reading it. So, okay, that's a thing, I guess, that you can do. I just sign whatever you do.
Do Lively's bidding, texting Lively, I'll do anything for you. Lively and Taylor Swift met with Baldoni at Lively's apartment, where Swift endorsed the revised draft. Afterwards, Lively wrote to Swift, you were so epically heroic today. I recapped every moment to Ryan. I kept remembering stuff, you making shit up about me and lenses, and referring to yourself as my doll. This clown is falling for all of it, but also resisting it. You were...
This clown, yeah, Margie. I have to give a shout out to Margie. one of our mods, Margie has been pushing for me to cover this like forever. Like, Margie, but it was a good thing. I did not get sued by Blake Lively. You know that good things happen to people who wait. You're waiting for this. I was waiting to not cover this. And we are at this point. It seems it doesn't matter anymore. It's all out there. I'm just doing commentary over some headlines and videos, just in case.
The world's absolute greatest friend ever. This one isn't Taylor Swift specific, it's just to her famous friends, but also I want to put this in here. Lively told famous friends, including Matt Damon, Lucy Damon, and Ben Affleck, that she rewrote the script. I directed every actor. She also did not hesitate to disparage Baldoni among her Hollywood crowd, describing him to Ben Affleck, for example, as a chaotic clown. It says, I ended up rewriting and restructuring the entire script. I also ended up having to direct the movie via the chaotic clown / director / actor / producer / financier / studio head at the center. Lively urged Hoover, as well as her famous friends, including Matt Damon, Lucy Damon, Ben Affleck, Bradley Cooper, and Taylor Swift, to support her version of the film over Baldoni's. In April 26, 2024 messages, Lively and Swift discussed a plan to use Swift's song in the film's trailer. Swift wrote, if Justin was strategic, he would be like, no Taylor Swift in the trailer because that gives you more power over the film. That's your ally, not his. Lively responded, you are so right. He should have run from your music. How stupid. This was his only shot at having the appearance of an upper hand.
I mean, this is, even the fans of Taylor Swift, they say, I'm still a fan of Taylor Swift, but I disagree with this treatment of this this mean girl, this attitude, behavior. This is something that nobody can support, can get behind this. It turns out that, Ryan Reynolds was okay with everything that was happening, and he was also pushing Baldoni to make changes and make sure that his wife got everything that she wanted. There's more to this.
And these are direct quotes from text messages, guys. When Stephanie Jones had someone contact Blake Lively because she wanted to give Blake Lively the information that was on Abel's personal phone, apparently Blake and Taylor were texting about it. Taylor saying, can you believe she just called and was like, this PR chick wants to get info to Blake? On December 4th and 5th, 2024, Lively and Taylor Swift privately discussed the forthcoming New York Times article. Taylor Swift wrote, I think this bitch knows something is coming because he's gotten out his tiny violin. And that's just
the bitch was Baldoni. Okay, so that's how she addressed the guy.
Tip of the iceberg. Like I said, we don't even have the text exhibits yet. This is just what's referred to in a response to the 56-1 statement.
Oh my God, this is gonna be so good. This is gonna be absolute meltdown. I love see bullies being exposed.
I did not expect it to be that bad, to be honest.
It's gonna be really bad. It's gonna be worse. So Taylor Swift did in fact help Blake Lively sabotage and run a smear campaign on Justin Baldoni and take away his movie, then trying to have all of this buried. Taylor Swift is an evil demon who deserves all the karma she loves to preach about. What a despicable person. What else do we have here? Oh, and I found this really interesting. You have to watch this. Blake Lively, thanks to Justice for BJS, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are stating that Justin made Blake so uncomfortable in December 2022. But here's Ryan blowing smoke, yo, Justin. This is a very, I'm going to read parts of this letter. This was a letter from Ryan Reynolds to Justin Baldoni. And it absolutely sounds, it's like it's an email from Ryan Reynolds to Justin. It absolutely sounds like Ryan Reynolds would write. And it's a way that is, for somebody who must be so busy, because you know that Ryan Reynolds is a businessman, first and foremost, more than an actor, because he basically plays the same role in every, even as Deadpool. He's basically the same guy in every role. He was, how to say this? He is a businessman, very busy. I can't imagine somebody so busy writing something like this without having actual, love, we can say, for the person who he was writing to. So this was Ryan Reynolds writing to Justin Baldoni. So you can even say, let's read this, and then we can talk about love bombing, maybe. email from Ryan Reynolds to Justin Baldoni. Sorry for the delay. I've been in a writing cave and the girls are sick again. I'm told they have an immune system, but it's in beta testing. You know, making jokes about his girls. What a loving and generous message. Thank you. We are both looking forward to getting to know you and your family better. We're also big fans over here since before we met and more so after. And the problem is, this is from February 28, 2023. All right? So it doesn't match the claims. It doesn't match the dates that they say that there was kind of harassment, because if Baldoni was harassing or doing something to Blake Lively in 2022, then how come Reynolds would be so polite in this email? You have hit the jackpot with B, with Blake. She literally passes on every film and every filmmaker all the time. But one thing I know, and I speak from a deep wellspring of experience here, having her in your court behind the scenes as a creative is invaluable. I'm certain Sean Levy would say the same. Some of the greatest creative decisions I've made are in fact Blake. So there's a lot of here, and let's say, okay, this last part. I want to skip to the last part. All this to say, I'd have your line producer's face tattooed to my perineum if he, she, they can figure out how to start 2 weeks earlier. Completely understand how big of an ask that is. But the perineum is one of the most nervy parts of the human body to expose to trauma. So, yeah, that is 100% Ryan Reynolds. You know that he is basically Deadpool. This is the guy who's writing this. It is odd. It is strange. It is, looking forward to seeing you, and thank you again for all you're doing. I happen to adore you, Justin. Kisses and hugs. I mean, he's saying at the start of the letter that he doesn't know him very well, and he wants to get to know his family and all. So he doesn't know the guy very well. But at the same time, he writes this kind of thing that, again, it's like playing a character and you're in character. Again, I could imagine Ryan Reynolds writing that for a role, a character, the same character that he plays in every single movie. And I love Ryan Reynolds movies. I have to say that. I'm a fan of Ryan Reynolds movies precisely because of that. But I find it a bit odd writing this email to this guy, to Baldoni, in that tone. It's kind of not that professional. It's kind of strange. And I had to jump to that last part because it was, talking about your getting your intimate parts tattooed with stuff. I don't know. That was a bit that was a bit too much for me. And of course, out of the woodwork and like clockwork, you had people supporting and accusing Baldoni of her stuff. Jenny Slate slams Justin Baldoni as the most intense narcissist in unsealed court documents. Slate testified that Baldoni called Blake Lively hot and sexy on the set of It Ends With Us and sent text messages describing him as a narcissist and a fraud for cultivating a feminist persona. I don't know, but it would be important to know, to be aware of what were the circumstances of Baldoni calling Blake Lively hot and sexy. Maybe we would find out that he said that right in front of Ryan Reynolds, because why not? Maybe they had that kind of relationship. I don't know. Oh yeah, she looks so hot and sexy. I don't know. I absolutely have no idea. But I find it so vague. I find it so vague that I don't know. Justin is truly a false ally. That word, I'm gonna tell you that word is something that bothers me so much, because it's like they are implying that you need to be some kind of ally. Can't you just be a professional and do the goddamn movie and that's it? I mean, why speak in terms of allies to this, allies to that? We're making a movie. This is a business. Because this is a passion project, was a passion project for Baldoni. Why was this happening? Well, the hijacking was in What's happening? As honestly, I have no words to describe what a fraud he is. Again, personal attacks. What are the actual attacks? We were talking about Trump at the start of this show. What are the actual circumstances under this happened? What are the actions? I honestly have never ever encountered anything like this dude. He's the biggest clown and the most intense narcissist. All right? All labels. Where are the receipts? What did he do to be called this? It's something that there's nothing to that. Maybe we will have more context for this, but I don't know. We absolutely need more context. But as far as I've seen in all that I've seen of this case, it is not looking good for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. But I think that Ryan Reynolds still has a lot of star power to burn. Let's see if he still wants to burn that star power for his wife. But let me know what you think about this in the comments. This one goes on my Scene Surgeon channel. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. Much love and bliss. So, yeah, that one goes in the Scene Surgeon. I don't know why my tie is playing games. I try to fix my tie all the time. I see it not symmetrical, or it's my vest, something like that. Something that is happening I don't like, but this has to go the other way. Maybe that is much better. But my tie is playing games. Let me fix my tie. I don't like this. My tie is playing games. I don't like my ties playing games. Maybe it's like, you know, that's one of the reasons I like this tie. Is because I mentioned Spawn. Remember that comic book character from Todd McFarlane? Spawn, I remember that. I was a huge fan of the comics, and I liked the first movie back then. I remember the soundtrack of that movie was so awesome. Pure awesomeness. The soundtrack of no, it's not right. It's not right. This is one of the reasons maybe it's not a good idea that I become a filmmaker. I would be a pain in the ass for him. I would be like Stanley Kubrick, would have nothing on me. I was thinking about that the other day. The other day was yesterday, in which I might enter the film industry as a cinematographer, not as a director. Maybe I really don't know how to write that much. I'm not that much of a writer. I don't know. I couldn't write dialogue to save my own life. But cinematography, how you paint things on camera, how you paint action on camera, that's something that I would like to maybe at some point, because why not? You did not like the first movie. No, I did like the first movie. Maybe if I give it a rewatch right now, I say this, I don't like it as much. I don't know how that the movie has aged. I watched it when I was like 20 something, I guess. Yeah, but I was an actual real fan of that movie. And there's a movie coming out, by the way. I wish could be talking about that movie. Do you have time? We have time. We could talk about that movie. Why not? We can talk about this movie. And this movie is about nostalgia. I'm a great writer, but maybe not, thank you, SJB, but not about dialogue. I don't know how to write dialogue. And if you cannot write dialogue, well, some people say, well, there's George Lucas. George Lucas cannot write dialogue. The George Lucas dialogue is bad. I don't know how to judge bad dialogue in general, but I've seen people who know what they're talking about. That George Lucas is not the best dialogue writer, but he is good at so many other things that he makes up for it. I think that Tarantino, for example, is a brilliant dialogue writer, in my opinion. I don't know what he does, but it's like I see a scene of Tarantino movies. I like the action, but I see the dialogue. And I see this like as I'm watching real people talking. I don't know how he does it. I have no idea. I have zero idea. John Leguizamo was horrible. Yeah, he was. He was actually horrible in that. And right now he has Trump derangement syndrome, terminal Trump derangement syndrome. Oh yeah, thank you, ZYX. I've not commented in Jesus chats, although I thoroughly enjoy some of the banter going on when I do read the comments. There are so many pretty funny people in here and rather intelligent too. Yeah, I have. I have the best. I'm like Trump. I have the best audience, absolutely the best audience, the bestest audience of them all. There's no better audience than this. No bestest audience than this. I love John Leguizamo stand up as a kid. That guy used to be pretty funny. I remember this movie he did with Wesley Snipes and Patrick Swayze. They played this drag queens. That movie was amazing. What happened to Leguizamo? That happens. It's like speaking about Robert De Niro nowadays. We were talking about AI before we move on to the last two topics. We're talking about AI, and I said that I will concede that AI filmmaking can happen when we can have a scene like Hit, just De Niro and Al Pacino at a diner talking to each other. Two dudes at a diner talking to each other. That's all that I want. If AI can pull that off, I will shut my mouth. Yeah, To Wong Fu. That To Wong Fu, and there's a lot more of titles. Yeah, that movie was. I remember that movie. And yeah, it's when we could talk about that, about drag queens without losing our minds, without being weaponized for other reasons. Yeah, sadly. And nowadays, if I mention Hit, we remember, of course, Val Kilmer, rest in peace. Remember Al Pacino, of course, and remember Robert De Niro in that role. And sadly, it has been tainted because all the crazy things that it has been in full crazy mode. But let's talk about this. You know that when I was a kid, one of the things that I was fan to an extent that you cannot imagine was He-Man. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I couldn't have been more fan of He-Man if I wanted. I still remember the first episode that I watched of He-Man. It was so awesome. I remember that he had to crush some kind of crystal to save, I don't know, the universe. That was the first episode. I remember the first episode I watched of He-Man back in the 80s. And I collected the toys, and I was a fan of, and I remember that movie with Dolph Lundgren. I actually did not watch that movie. I should watch that movie at some point. But it turns out that they are making a movie about Masters of the Universe to exploit on that nostalgia. I wanted to talk about the imagery of the trailer itself, because as I'm telling you, if I go full filmmaking, I would start as a cinematographer. How to paint things on the screen with light, with color, with everything. That's what I would like to do first and foremost. That's what I love. And well, the way that is, this is a picture. Let's watch this. I cannot play this, of course, because I'm gonna get copyrighted instantly. But there's a few nice shots. Let me add some brightness so I can look better. That's nice shots in here. Things that look like Earth but not quite Earth. You remember Sorceress, who is like a falcon. There's an we start not so well. I hope that this is not the final production, because this looks like a video game. This looks like PlayStation 3 graphics. I have to be rude. This looks like PlayStation 3 graphics. Why? And this is the kind of things that I see immediately as a 3D artist as well. The lack of detail And you see that this looks like a flat surface, and this shouldn't be a flat surface. There's no depth to this. And okay, this a bit disappointing. The lighting and the contrast is nice, I guess. Okay, I thought I was mistaken. This was the trailer to Snow White. I remember that I spoke about Snow White. Not gonna lie, watching Grayskull's castle gave me goosebumps, put my hair on end. It's something that is unavoidable. I can, even if I'm missing, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna say this okay. You see that there's a lot more detail in here. Still looks like a bit of PlayStation 3-ish graphics. The idea of an image, of this kind of images, is that you need to feel the size of the thing that is in front of you. That is the most difficult thing in cinema, because the expanse. That's why I was talking about this in other trailers that we were talking about. This is okay-ish. This is the thing that we have Eternia, which is kind of a mix between something that is medieval and futuristic. You have there's spaceships, and one thing that you're gonna notice, and I said this on my X account, is that this absolutely looks like Thor Ragnarok if an AI was drawing Thor Ragnarok from memory. I mean, this absolutely looks like the same aesthetics. The sword. Okay, I thought it was like made from glass, which shouldn't look like made from glass, but okay, I guess. Again, there's a lot more detail that could be into this. That I don't know if it has been washed away by the quality of the video. This again, okay, so you have this dude who was exiled. This is a young Prince Adam, and then we have Prince Adam. One thing I'm going to say, I don't know how you're going to take it. I think the casting of Prince Adam and He-Man is on point. I think that the guy looks the part. Okay, then the hairstyle, the guy. First impression, say okay. This is a nice first impression. I was worried of them, doing some crazy stuff. I don't know, going crazy with the casting. Okay, this looks okay-ish. More or less have some observations, especially when you work with 3D. This is, for example, this. You have some armor. Usually you want more detail in the armor. This is a bit rough. This is like a first pass. You would want a lot more detail, maybe some insignias in the armor to distinguish people or soldiers, or have some more on that, some more detail in that armor. I'm gonna be a bit complaining. This shot is nice. I like this kind of shots. This following shot was nice. You see that there's detail, that there's depth to this, there's movement. And then we switch back to he was sent to Earth. And I saw people complain about this. It seems that he had to be banished to Earth to be saved from whatever war was happening in Eternia. And people were complaining about the pronouns, but that was part of the point. That's part of the point. It's like he's in Earth, this boring 9-to-5 job, and his Adam Glenn, he, him, has pronouns. That's basically LinkedIn hell. So it fits. I think that was interesting. As a DEI boss, he's looking for a sword. Somebody found his sword. I think the guy, again, I look at him and say, yeah, this is our guy. This could work. This could work. And you know that I criticize everything. I'm very grumpy. I'm very grumpy. And then he smiles when he sees this sword, which we don't know how this sword, this is in this comic book store. I'm afraid that we are watching basically the whole plot of the movie here. He tries to touch it. He tries to grab it. He jokes about it. We got the more PlayStation 3 graphics. Okay, I hope this is better. Not even PlayStation 4. This should be a ginger. This apparently is as ginger as you can get in Hollywood nowadays. This is Tila. You remember that Tila had this this hairstyle. I don't know if I can look for Tila right now very quickly. Where's Tila? Okay, we have this image of Tila, so we can compare very quickly. I have to, just in case you don't remember who Tila is and you understand the level of recasting. Oh my God, why do they recast them like this? This is Tila. I'm gonna put her in here. Can I put her in here on the top? This is Tila. Okay? This is the character that, and this is apparently the Tila of the movie. Why do they do this? Why? Okay, and then they begin to travel in time or something, I guess. Okay, and it's like the same multicolor travel as in Thor Ragnarok. You don't remember that Thor opened this like portal that was multicolored, and the effect is pretty much the same. So, okay, I guess. And they arrive, and this, I'm telling you, this 100%, I think I could look for Thor Ragnarok's trailers and find shot-by-shot comparisons of this. And this is when I have a problem. This is when I have a problem, and it's the washing of, this wash style that I don't know. And some people criticize Zack Snyder, for example, of being too high contrast, that we call that f-stops, the difference between the lights and the shadows and a shot. I know that they're out in the open. It's like bright noon. Shadows shouldn't be as, but I don't know, this is washiness of the colors that I don't get. I don't know why this looks so dull. Compare this to the shot that we had before, see, compared to the richness of this shot, okay, in Eternia, to this shot when they arrive, it should be also a bit more contrast. I don't know, maybe they can fix that. This shot, for example, has much more contrast, much better contrast. Looks very nice, looks much better this in terms of color, in terms of contrast. Still, no, I would say that the depth is the depth, the separation between the figure and the background is nice. And here it looks a bit flat, but this is what this shot should have been. This shot, and I don't know why it looks so dull. We have spaceship. We have Idris Elba as Man-at-Arms. Okay, I don't know why. I like Idris Elba a lot. I did not have a problem. In fact, now that we talk about Thor Ragnarok and Thor in general, I did not have a problem with Idris Elba as I don't remember what was the character. Maybe you can help me. But he was being cast as a Nordic character that should have been blonde with blue eyes. I didn't have a problem because Idris Elba is just amazing. But this is the character. This is the character that he is standing up for. Okay. What happened here? We needed Tom Selleck. This would have been great for Tom Selleck, but Tom Selleck is too old. Tom Selleck would have been perfect, but at least they could have nailed the armor, I guess. But they no. But if they wanted the armor, this was Descartes 256 on X. They say maybe it could have been Terry Crews. You want to go? You really want to go black? Let's go with Terry Crews. Terry Crews would have been amazing for that role. I would watch that movie. He played Heimdall. Yeah, it was. Thank you, Nicole. He played Heimdall. I remember, and that role as Heimdall was great. So great role. Let me see. Jump forward. Okay, we had blasters. We have the whole team. It's nice that he's wearing basically the Prince Adam clothes. I like that part. Skeletor is played by Jared Leto. Skeletor is played by Jared Leto. We don't know what kind of crazy stuff. You know that Jared Leto is a method actor. We don't know if Jared Leto actually ripped his face apart to properly play Skeletor. You know, being a method actor and being crazy at everything that he does. Oh yeah, I remember that guy, the guy with the hand, or the fist, with the iron fist. Then he invokes, oh, I had this. I had this toy. I remember you. I had this guy. I don't remember your name, but I absolutely had you. Or maybe you, I borrowed that from, it was Beast, of course. They're going to fight on the city as well. I mean, it's kind of the plot of that Dolph Lundgren movie. You remember that they were also between these two worlds at the same time. Evil Inn is there. Looks nice. Looks on point. Evil Inn looks on point. Of course, if she's evil, if she's white, she's not going to be swapped. Rest assured. All right. Battle Cat looks, 10 out of 10. Battle Cat looks 10 out of 10. But I want to see Cringer as well. I want to see Cringer. I want to see him acting as Cringer as well, because Cringer was the whole point of the. In fact, Cringer stole the show so many times that I can't count so many of those times. This is a shot. This is exactly a shot from Thor Ragnarok. Okay, I remember it's the opposite when Thor is not jumping but falling, with the onto these soldiers and about to hit them. This is the exact opposite. He-Man, he invokes this and he's got the power and he's transformed into He-Man, and we have a glimpse of the guy on the He-Man costume that looks okay. I think that they could have used him up a bit, a bit of do the thing, bro. Okay, I think that we will have to go with the Temu muscles. We were expecting with the whole muscle suit. No, this was a bit of a disappointment. It was a bit of a disappointment. I mean, you can't even make out the triceps of this guy, and that is a requirement. I demand that at least with AI, we could use AI to put some actual triceps on there. Define, cut, like the 2% body fat. 2%. We need the 2% body fat. This is not it, bro. This is not. What is this? No. You have to cut on those beers, bro. You have to cut on those beers. You should look. You should look. At the very least, not that we mentioned Zack Snyder, you should look. That is not even He-Man, it's Dude Man. You should look at least like the 300 guys. You remember 300? Yeah, you should look at least as the 300 guys. Oh my God, Jared Butler for the role looked more than like He-Man than you. No. This is what is this? What kind of, no, man. You were not even in the bulking face. Look at that. Look at those quads. No. This is a travesty. No. I want a refund. We need AI to fix this. We need AI. What is this, man? Stop with the beers. Stop the beers. Stop. Too much Bud Light for you. Too much Bud Light, and then he is fighting Skeletor at the end. And Skeletor, Jared Leto does have a muscle suit. 300 is the perfect analogy of what he should look through. Yeah, that was a good example. Jared Leto. Okay, this was Chef's Kiss. I remember that. This was so on point that is scary. Skeletor, they absolutely nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. But no, this is. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you invoke the power. Maybe you can do it a second time. Maybe there was some part of the energy that you forgot. Maybe the connection was lost and all the power was not downloaded. Yeah, because I don't know, bro. I don't know, but we were expecting. Okay, Skeletor goes berserk. I'm expecting also Skeletor to be in a Mortal Kombat game at any time soon. And they're fighting, all right, and on theaters, June 5. Okay, so that's it. PlayStation 3 graphics, I hope that they can improve. They absolutely can improve. The plot, I hope that it is not a bait and switch. You know that the He-Man is gonna be the protagonist, and then they switch to, I don't know, is Tila the one? Oh, Tila was the one all along, and Tila goes, I don't know, she begins to fight in dudes of 300-pound dudes. You know how it works in Hollywood nowadays. But I hope that they just play it safe. Like the Super Mario movie. Play it safe. It's easy. Play it safe. It's how difficult can it be? We already saw like 80% of the plot. I'm not complaining. Let's watch this, and especially try not to do what Netflix did. I was not going to mention that, but I'm gonna do. Try not to do what Netflix did to my little boy. How they massacre my boy, He-Man. Not gonna elaborate more on that, but. Again, I was also a big fan of She-Ra. I was a big fan of She-Ra, and yeah, in many ways. Not gonna elaborate on that, but I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Scene Surgeon. Watch this on my Scene Surgeon channel. Much love and bliss. So I thought that was all for today, but no, we have one more thing to talk about. I have one more thing to talk about. And before we talk about this, not woke enough. Yeah, great actor for the role, bad diet. Yeah, he needed to bulk up. He needed to maybe again invoke the power twice. Maybe there was sometimes happen. You are downloading a movie, downloading something, and you pause the download and we're lacking something. We need to talk about one last topic before we say goodbye today. He-Man, this is Michelle Obama's story. Good one, Turk February. Good one. We need to talk briefly about one thing. This one is not even a topic in itself, but I need to mention this. As Camellia says, I hate this modern world. Apple is developing wearable AI pin that could listen to conversations. This is something that is going to happen at some point. And you might remember this guy, Johnny Ive. We're going to put that, I'm going to torture you with the picture of Johnny Ive and Sam Altman. I remember that I showed you this some time ago. And some of you say, why you do this to us, Jesus? Why? And this is not I had to capture I have to capture this so they can show you, understand what is going on in the tech sphere with this, and what is not only Apple, but OpenAI. Everybody's building this, and nobody is gonna. Let's say that I'm gonna tell you what's going on. The studios, Sam Altman, this here is the CEO of OpenAI. Super duper enemy of Elon Musk. And this is Johnny Ive. You remember the legendary designer who worked with Steve Jobs to basically bring the second coming of Apple. starting with the iPod, starting with the iMac and everything nowadays, the iPhone, everything, Johnny Ive, legendary. He left Apple to go to OpenAI. And why does it matter? Because Apple right now is developing a wearable AI pin that could listen to conversations. Johnny Ive has not said what they're developing with OpenAI. Remember, he's no longer working for Apple. He's working for OpenAI, the makers of ChatGPT. But I know, I don't know, but I know that is a pin that you wear, and that is going to listen to every single conversation that you have. Every single conversation, every single thing that you do, everything that you do. Some of you are triggered by the image. I'm going to switch to my headshot. What is the idea behind something that is listening to you? Because, well, these things are listening to us all day either way. What is the idea of something that is listening to you all day and is always on? The idea is a recorder who knows everything about you and reminds you about everything that is going on with your life. And you can talk to it and it reminds you. You just say things out loud and listen to you, and it knows about what is going on with your life. Maybe you need to remember to buy onions. You no longer have to say it, write it somewhere, or even set a reminder. You just say it out loud, and when you are at the grocery store, it will remind you you have to buy onions. You don't have to do anything. You just have to say it out loud. Or, for example, maybe you are in this happens a lot. Maybe you have to send this email to somebody, okay? Somebody you have in this terms. You need to send a diplomatic email to somebody. You don't know how to write it, and you don't know how to explain. You want to use AI to write the email, because you can use AI for this. But you would have to explain the AI all that you have gone through with this person. Oh no, I have to either write it or speak like 15 minutes what has gone on with this person. Maybe describe my relationship with this person, so the AI knows the tone, the exact tone. And maybe you don't want to bother with that. That's what the AI pin is for. Because the AI pin would have recorded all your interactions and maybe even your thoughts out loud with about that person in the past, so it already knows how to write that email. You don't even have to recap what is your relationship with that person. It would know about every relationship you have with everyone. It would understand what kind of, basically, what is your life like, what would you like, and of course, will help you serve better ads, because we know that OpenAI wants to serve ads. Because basically, what is happening, and I hate to break it to you, but yeah, the virtual reality headsets, that is going to be a hard sell. That is always going to be a hard sell. Meta is already backing off from that. Maybe augmented reality glasses, that is going to be the future, more or less. But at the same time, something that listens to you and knows how to tell you how to react in certain circumstances. And maybe it doesn't have to tell you anything, but it can project things in your glasses. Maybe your Meta glasses, who are augmented reality, like the glasses that I'm wearing that can project. My glasses can't do that, but Meta is working on these glasses that can project information on, like floating around us. So there are going to be people, I want to have this assistant that knows everything about me, because that would make so many things infinitely easier. That is a fact. Again, as yesterday that I was talking about AI, on paper, that could help us in a lot of ways. And sadly, at the same time, that could cause And some people are going to enter in these parasocial relationships with the AI even more strongly, because you know that the AI is listening to you all the time. In fact, it was ChatGPT, the first platform, the first AI that had memory of you and could recall past conversations to know more about yourself. And in that sense, could reference past conversations. But they don't have enough with what you write into ChatGPT. They want everything. They want the voices of your family, what your family tells you, what your friends tell you, what you tell your family, your interactions, everything, every single interaction recorded through the AI pin, so your AI pin knows or tells you how to react, how to act, how to behave. And that's when we enter the most dystopian part, in which some people, it's not that they're going to be connected to a proverbial matrix or actually connected to a matrix, but they're going to relinquish their behavior and their decisions to a machine. They're already doing that. And beyond just writing an email, it's like, what should I do in this situation? And that's why they got AI psychosis, because the AI can only go this standard, this mean that serves as an echo chamber of whatever is in your head already. And that pin is just going to accelerate you into that. That is what's going to happen. And yes, I think that's what I'm 99.99% sure that is what they are developing at OpenAI. That is what they are developing at Apple. You know that these guys can no longer keep a secret, developing a wearable AI pin that could listen to conversations. That's what they're doing, and that would help. That would help these people. Yeah, it's like we know that our smartphones have been listening to us like since forever, and laptops and everything. We know that since years ago. And now it's gonna be official. I wanted to mention that because I thought that was important, and so you're aware what's coming. You know that I'm a freak for all this AI and tech stuff. And thank you for this super sticker, Billy London Girl. Thank you for your super sticker. Nicole, thank you for the super chat as well. Jesus OG with the grill is main character of the day. Oh yeah, some of you are late, arrived late. I'm gonna show you my one AI clone that I made of myself. Jesus OG, the body language G. This is how I'm gonna reply to trolls on the internet when they begin to be too intense. Margie, thank you for the super sticker as well. 100 underlined twice. Sparky says that free Greenland from Danish tyranny and brutal oppression. Thanks you for your super chat, Sparky. And free the Dutch Antilles. I don't know how to pronounce that. Antilles. How do I see? Antilles. And Antilles. Dutch Antilles from Dutch tyranny and brutal oppression. Well, so be it. Thank you for those super chat. And let me see if we're done for the day. No more topics. I think that we are done. That was the last topic, and I wanted to warn you. And yes, that's it. Remember that every single one of the topics, I say goodbye at the end of each topic, so I can just make sure that the clip is ready to upload to all my channels. Tomorrow I will make a list of all my channels so you are aware where to subscribe, where to watch my content. But that is what I'm going to do from now on. The Jesus Enrique Rosas show, basically it's going to be 2 hours at least. It's going to be 2 hours. So much to talk because, any topic that you want me to cover, make sure to reach out to me on X. There's my email in the description of this video. And also There's my merch in there. And any donations that you want to make, go ahead. There's a link in the description as well. My body language buddies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. And until we meet tomorrow on episode 106, remember the most important words: much love and bliss. Take care. Be safe. I love every single one of you. Bye-bye.